So this week's bass line is taken from the funk classic by James Brown called Sweat, and the bass line is by the fantastic bassist Bernard Odum. I just had to include this bass line in this series of lessons because it's one of the first bass lines I ever really looked at and studied, and you know, it's very simple. It just fits right in the pocket. It's just basically what you want to hear from a funk bass line. It's just like the perfect kind of, all that James Brown stuff is like the Bible of how to play funk music. So like I said, I had to include it in here. It's basically in 3 sections. There's a drum track, by the way, for you to download so you can jam along with the transcription, and a document with the analysis of the bass line here. One good way I think of practicing this as well is if you check out the original and just basically turn the volume down on your bass and just jam along with it and just really try to slip inside his time feel. You're going to really get a lot out of that, and just you'll start to notice where you're rushing these 16th notes, and it's just a really nice kind of laid back pocket. So it's basically 3 sections, and they're in groups of 2 bars. So it's like a 2 bar phrase, you know, the A section's like a 2 bar thing that just cycles around, and then James Brown would cue the bridge, and that would be a 2 bar cycle that goes around, and then cue the turnaround that would take you back to the A section. So let's have a listen to the A section groove. So it's basically over a D7 chord. So if you want to clap out the rhythms, it starts off with a quarter note, so it will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the way I'm hearing these notes is I'm just kind of letting that D up the octave pop a little bit, and then keeping that A kind of really staccato and that D staccato too. I'm just trying to kind of make the notes dance a little bit, so it's not just so straight. It's always good to kind of add your own character to these notes, but it's definitely more valuable to kind of get inside the original concept. So let's look at the rhythms in bar 2 now. It starts off with 2 8th notes. That 8th note's tied over for an 8th note in beat 2, followed by 2 16th notes, and then beat 3 and 4 is just 8th notes. So let's clap that out. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and the harmony is just D down to the 3rd of the chord, and then we start. I just look at this as an approach to the 5, so it's the 4th degree, if you like, chromatic approach to the 5, and then ending on this C sharp, which is just a chromatic approach from below to chord tone. So, and the dynamics I'm using here is I'm just kind of keeping that first D short, and then everything else pretty legato. So that's the A section. So let's check out the B section now, or the bridge. It's over a C7 chord, and again it's a 2 bar phrase. So let's just hear it. So basically the rhythms, you could count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the harmony is just all chord tones. There's a root, the octave above, flat 7th, and then the 5. I'm keeping that first note pretty long. I'm kind of stabbing at that octave above, and all those notes there kind of staccato, and the last G I'm kind of holding that up a little bit longer. And then the next bar I'm just keeping them all pretty even. So the next bar, the rhythms, it's exactly the same as the A section as well. So it's 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and basically same things going on as well. It's just a root followed by the 3rd, and then walking up to the 5 with the chromatic approach back to the root. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a beautiful line, very memorable, and the more you play it and the more you kind of fit inside the pocket, the better it feels. So then we get to the turnaround, which would have been on cue. And This is basically approaching the 5 chord from the 3rd. So it's, and again, keeping the notes pretty short, and the rhythms all on the upbeat. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we have a bar rest, and then starting from the F, and then holding that 5 out, and then it would take you back to the top of the form. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll see you next week for another one of these Who's the Bass Player competitions. And again, hope you enjoyed. Please join the mailing list, and we'll see you soon.